Hey everybody, Lee from PcjunkieMods here. So today I'm going to do a little unboxing and comparison. I will be doing a comparison with the Larkooler Skywater 330 kit. It is an all-in-one. A couple good things that I can tell you about it without even pulling it out and looking at it. The price point is really good. It's like 130 bucks. That's not bad for an all-in-one that you put together. It's custom water cooling, all in one box. It has the pump, the reservoir, the hose, the fittings, the block, the radiator, everything is one box here, and the liquid. So that is one good thing that I could tell you about it. I really like the packaging. The box is nice and sturdy. It gives you a lot of details on the front and the back, as you can see here. The compatibility is pretty much any socket that you can think of. From Intel as far back as 775 all the way to 2011, and AMD as far back as 754 all the way to AM3. Not that AMD's sockets change very much, but it has a max TDP of 450 watts. It has a variable speed pump, so meaning that you could turn it up or down. So we have the Rampage 4 Black Edition motherboard here from Asus. And then as far as processor, we have the IVE 4820K. We have a GTX780 Ti from Asus. And the cooler that I will be comparing the Skywater 330 to is my Cooler Master 812 TPC. I think it's a TPC. And then I also have a couple sticks of Dominator 2000 in there. So basically, my guess here is if the Skywater can compete with this cooler, then we're good to go. Because I've had this cooler on, this is an air cooler at 5 gigahertz on my 3960X. So we'll see what happens, and I'll do some overclocking to give you some temperature differences to give you versus idle, because some things can fluctuate, meaning like they might be great at idle and then just take a massive dump when you put a load on it. So I'd like to see what happens. Idle load at stock speeds and idle load at a moderate OC, maybe like anywhere from 4.4 to 4.8. So we'll see what happens. All right, so here we are. I'm sure you didn't want to see me struggle with trying to get this out of the box. Do you want to see me pull it out of the box?
Because you're struggling.
As you can see, nothing in the box. Okay, so found the tubing was underneath it and the manual was underneath it. That's pretty cool. The box, the packaging looks pretty good. Looks like everything's well protected here. We'll find out here in a second as soon as I get it open. Oh, everything looks pretty good. Everything's got its little cubby hole. Got a little funnel. Looks like some couple fittings in here, some screw downs, 24-pin jumper. Now that's a nice little feature to include with your water cool kit. Everybody else should take notes. Screws for the rad. What else am I missing here? It looks like some fan headers to Molex, and looks like some double-sided tape. Then what we have is nice little package here. Looks like you got something to spread some thermal paste with, and some tools, some more screw downs, hose clamps, Allen wrench, washers, more screws, and CPU block. Nice and shiny CPU block, must say. And back plate, rubber gasket. Looks like we got blue liquid. Let me wipe it off so you can. Some Larkooler coolant. And can you see me through there? Oh, okay. I was just checking. Then we have the pump res combo. So to me, I mean, it looks like a smaller version of a D5 pump. And then the reservoir has a port on top, another port, a port on the side. The pump just has the one because the other one is actually plugged directly into the reservoir. Looks like a pretty decent little setup there. Put that over there. Oh, and then as far as the plugs go, we have a fan header plug, a control knob, to turn it up and down, and an LED 12 volt. The rad looks like it's all aluminum. Nice looking radiator. Can you see me through there? I can see you. I don't know how you count the fins per inch on that one. These fins go this way, and it's got a lot of heat pipes down the middle. So one of the things I wanted to do, now that I got this out and there's no fittings actually in it, is I have a fitting hiding somewhere. This is a coolants fitting, standard G1/4 fitting. So one of the things I wanted to check was the thread. Now the reason I'm doing this is because at the price point for this, I mentioned earlier, $130 is the price point at Performance PCs. Performance-PCs. My buddy Hank over there carries it in stock. So the reason I wanted to check this is for expandability. What I mean by expandability is it is a kit, but it is a kit that you could add or change whatever you want. So meaning like me, I'm particular about parts, blah, blah, blah. I don't use a lot of barb fittings, what have you. I use a lot of compression fittings and now a lot of SLI fittings for doing hardline pipe and stuff. So the thread on here is G1/4, which is lovely. That is pretty much the norm now, but you never know what you might get, so I wanted to check, and that way I could give you accurate feedback there. So that's awesome, because now basically with this kit, let's say you picked up this kit and you wanted to add another block, maybe your GPU or something, you could do that by just buying a couple more fittings, the block, and piggyback it into the setup. And if you have the right airflow going, you should be able to have a decent setup. So we got a couple of fans in here. 0.29 amp, 12 volt. That's about all the spec I see on here. I'll look in the manual, maybe it'll tell me more. And they do have LEDs on them. And I did notice something hiding over here. So what I got here is a couple fan grills. Pretty good fan grills. Keep your fingers out of the fans. I always like those. Pass-throughs for your tube on your I/O. In case your case, most cases nowadays have the holes in them. And these are brackets for the rad to go on, like if you were to mount it on the back of your case or whatever. Which I was talking to my buddy earlier. I may actually, this would be the first time I've ever done that, but I may actually do that. Because I have an old Zalman case. I can't remember what case it was, but it doesn't have any 120s in it. It's all 80 millimeters, and I do not want to modify the case that much. Yeah, so we'll leave that at that. That's another day. So these are pretty good looking, sturdy brackets. My guess is, yeah, laid out for 120 millimeter spacing. I think that's it for the box. So I failed to mention in the beginning of the unboxing review or building, whatever you want to say here, the thermal paste that I used on this is this is the Gelid Extreme. Came with one of my EK blocks that I've had for a while. It's pretty good paste. The reason I didn't use this is I was worried there wasn't going to be enough for multiple applications. So I can't really give you a review on that. It feels like decent paste. But as you can see, it's a little bit more than one application in there, not enough for probably two or more than that. So I didn't want to have fluctuating test scores, one being really good and one being really good or bad or whatever. So I just stuck with one thermal paste. So I'm going to use this now, like I did on the air cooler, on the Larkooler. So basically for the thermal paste application, I put a bead in the middle and then I exit out, meaning I drag the corners out a little bit. And I've done that for a while. I've also done the smear it all over the place method. I've done just one big bead in the middle, this one, and putting paste all over the CPU seemed to work the best for me. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, the 24-pin jumper. This is very handy because of the fact that a lot of people, well, most people that water cool, the smartest thing you can do is not plug anything in. When you're first filling up your loop, you want to have as least amount of parts plugged in as possible and try to cover everything. Meaning, like if your system is all built, mine is up on a bench here, so if I have a leak here or here, no big deal. It's just going to be all over my bench and my keyboard probably, so I'll get over it. But what I have here is an extra power supply out here on the bench, and I'm using the 24 pin with the jumper, so I'm going to plug that in. And what this does is basically I have a Molex that's ran over here to the pump. So I plug this in here, and when I flip the switch on the power supply, the only thing that will turn on is the pump. So when I get this primed and I get enough liquid in it, I will flip the switch and it will cycle liquid through, and I'll turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on while I'm filling it until it's full. Now the key to this is, if you were to do this in your system and you had a leak and everything's covered, nothing's powered on but the pump. So chances of you shorting something out are, it's not going to happen. So anyways, let me make sure this is off before I plug it into the pump. So okay, plugged into the pump. We're good. Now I just need to run some tubing. Okay, so filled it up a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn on the power. Now I'm going to pour some more, fill it back up. What I've done is I've put my compression fitting on here with a hose, so I can not have to pour over the top of all my parts. And round two. And there it is. So I did some comparisons, stock settings. So basically we did a stock setting at idle, stock setting at load, and then we did an OC at 4.6 idle and load. I'm looking at the results right now, and the results are pretty decent. For 130 bucks, this water cooling kit is beating my 812. On the left here I have the 812 idle stock, and it reads with real temp 1720 1523, and then with the Larkooler idle stock, the Skywater, I have 14 16 13 23. So pretty close to the same temps, but the numbers are lower with the Skywater. Here we'll go load, under load stock. So this is under load here. On the left you have the 812, 31 33, 31 34, and then on the right is the Skywater is 27 30, 25 33. So again, there's a couple different temps there, which are better. So let me go ahead and I'm going to skip the idle on the OC. It was pretty much the same. 812 OC 4.6 and the Larkooler Skywater 4.6. This is where I noticed the biggest difference. So the biggest difference here, we're talking about almost 10C on a couple of the different cores. But it's hard to give an accurate temperature when you're looking at all the different cores and they fluctuate all over the place. So you just got to screenshot it and kind of do your average. But I'm going to say, so the 812 OC at 4.6 under load is 58, 53, 53, 56. And then my Larkooler Skywater was 47, 47, 48, 52. So it's a few degrees cooler, and I'm pretty sure I could probably push this thing up to 5 gigahertz. But another day. So that kind of concludes this. I would have to say for 130 bucks, you can't go wrong. There's a couple things that I didn't like. There's a lot of things I did like. Thing I didn't like is the tubing is really hard to put on the fitting. That's not a big deal. Let's see, what else was there. Shoot, I think that's about it. I mean, for $130, you can't go wrong, because your average cooler is anywhere from decent coolers anywhere from $70 and up. for 110 bucks you get a what, a H100, and I think my 812 beat the H100, so that kind of gives you an idea there. Things I liked about it, it's simple, easy installation, filled real easily. The liquid looks pretty cool, and I did notice on the reservoir, I can't really pull it out and show you right now because it's all tangled in here in my mess, is it looks like it has like a little waterfall effect on the side over here, because the liquid comes in at the top, which is the top chamber, and then it kind of dribbles down the side, which is pretty cool. Thought that was pretty cool. And also this little knob, the throttle knob for the pump, you can really hear this thing crank up when you turn it all the way up. You don't really need it turned all the way up, especially for this small of a setup. Well, that concludes this, I guess, because I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's a pretty good cooler for 130 bucks. Can't go wrong, especially for somebody that's just new, wanting to get into water cooling. Real simple. As long as you follow the directions, you should be good. Thanks for watching my video. Until next time.